So now we're gonna start working with getting the weapon out the correct way. There's a bunch of ways to draw the weapon, and all of them will work. What we wanna look at is the way that always works, right? So the way that if somebody's nearly on top of me, if I am fighting on the ground with the gun, if I am dealing with a subject far away, whatever it is, this method will still work. I'm not interested in you teaching me the 6 best methods for situations, and then when I'm in the situation, I select the best method and use it. That takes too much time, right? That's basically what Krav is completely against, right? We want the fewest amount of solutions to the most amount of problems, a fast map for what we're doing, all right? What that means is I would prefer to learn one way that works all the time, even if it's not the best for each individual situation. As long as it works well, it's much better because it removes all the thinking from my part. I will tell you that I'm not an appendix guy, and the reason is twofold. One, I can never find a comfortable scenario with the weapon tucked into my pants here. It just doesn't fit me well. I don't like it. The other is I have investigated a lot of unintentional shootings. Generally, the ones I'm talking about for this are the holstered weapon and the reholster. Yes, a weapon in your holster can fire. A holstered weapon and reholstering or drawing a weapon. And I'll tell you that I have investigated a ton of them from this carry position, whether inside or outside the waist in this area. And the worst I've ever seen is an embarrassing hole in your butt that you didn't have before, and then they stick a Band-Aid on that, give you some antibiotics, and people make fun of you for a while, right? It's the worst I've seen from that. From the appendix, generally the issue is on the reholster. Something gets caught on the trigger, like the garment or whatever, catches the trigger and it fires. The problem is it fires into the pelvic girdle and the femoral artery structure down here. The problem with that is unless you are already on the operating table, cut open, there's not a lot of opportunity to help you, right? Getting pressure onto that, especially if it destroyed bone, pushing pressure because you want to lock the artery against the bone, but if the bone's not working there anymore, I can't stop the bleeding for what you're doing. I'm not saying that you can't safely carry an appendix carry. I'm saying that if you choose that method, you need to be really good at practicing the draw stroke and really good at reholstering, because you're gonna have to reholster under stress if you ever use the weapon for real. And that's where things are gonna get you jammed up. So what I have to do is get the cover garment out of the way. And I can do that one of 2 ways. I can reach over with the opposing hand to lift the cover garment out of the way, or I can use this hand to sweep the cover garment up. I like to use this hand because if I've got a suit on or a vest or whatever, I can sweep it open and grab. It's the same motion I'm always teaching my hand all the time. And I don't have to reach across my body, because if I dedicate this arm to this and now you rush me, I just pinned an arm against me for this fight when it could have been out here helping me with what I need to do. So cover garment gets released from where it's at, right? So cover garment gets raised, and then this hand shoots down to the gun to form that grip we talked about. From here, it's gonna yank hard up on the weapon. I'm gonna clear that weapon out. Why am I yanking so hard? What if it got caught? What if it stuck? What if there's more tension? What if they're already grabbing it, right? As I yank up and get the weapon clear, I'm now going to orient that weapon. But this hand has a job too. In the time that I was clearing this to get to my pistol, this hand was moving to the center of my chest. It used to be taut down here. It's now taut up here. Why is it moving up here? Because if you attack me, rush me, or whatever, this is here to defend my face, is a big thing. The other thing is I want to present the weapon along my eye line, not along my tummy line. And so I'm going to bring this hand up to where it's going to meet the weapon. So 2 things happen at once. This hand comes to the center, this hand clears the garment, grab, down on the weapon hard. See how I'm already in the position where I'm holding the weapon, right? It's gonna come out in the position I want it to be in, and I'm gonna yank up on the weapon and now orient the weapon forward. I've already cleared my hand. Now I have no risk in my draw style of shooting my own hand. From here, as I present the gun, this hand is gonna grab the gun and form that grip as I push the weapon out onto target. The important part of all of this is, where am I looking the entire time this is happening? At the dude with the knife or the gun, or dudette, whoever it happens to be, right? Why? Because it's really not a great idea when someone's trying to kill me, right? I would really like to keep my attention on them. and what I'm doing. So last time, hand to the chest, clear the cover garment, grab the weapon, rip the weapon, rotate, present the weapon. The entire time, I'm looking at the threat that I have to deal with. I just want to stay focused on the threat that I have to deal with. Does that make sense? As you get better, we exaggerate bringing the hand to the chest. As you get better, this hand will learn where this hand comes up at, and that's where it's gonna meet it. You'll notice that my hand drifts over to the gun ahead of time, right? That's where it's gonna meet it, but I'm not gonna push the gun out and bring it up. I'm gonna push the gun straight out along my eye line because I wanna be looking at that target the entire time.